Peace and love, peace and love. Finally connected. Not on time, but at the right time. Love, peace, love. Let me just turn this connected down. Okay. So now we have that for the chat. And let me just reshare this link for our Facebook family to tap in. In the meantime, as we get ready for this presentation, I hope it's finding everyone in good health and in wealth as much as possible. Because I don't know about you, but the economy is suffering through my eyes. I can see it. Now, those who claim to be the powers that be can pretend like it's not what it is, but we're not going to pretend to be deaf, dumb, and blind. Are you kidding me? Not in this day and time. We cannot afford to tell ourselves lies, let alone what we tell others, which which brings me, us. When I say us, I am seriously talking about myself and my spirit team, which is with me always, and I need them like they need me. Like cook food, me, I need my spiritual team, you know? Yes, yes. I'm Irie with my spiritual team. Okay, so here's the link for that group. And y'all be patient with a sister because I want to take care of that chat, this chat. But I'm gonna go on TikTok and mess with the TikTok family because see over there we reach the globe. I don't have my sound effects hooked up, but let me see. Yeah, we reach the globe. You understand? On TikTok and also Bigo, Bigo, and I'm trying to make my way over there to Rumble for the monetization part because you know they monetize over there. You don't have to get no 4,000, 1,000 watch hours and all this other stuff. You don't need that. So a little laughter. Hey, oh, I turned the volume down. Got the doggone Bluetooth hooked up. See, we gotta be careful. That's a lesson. What you call it? A on time, real time lesson about these devices. You've been done forgot this thing is hooked up to your head or whatever. Now I gotta do a whole bunch of shungite work to get those EMFs out. You understand? EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. They're messing with people's brains. They're actually frying brains that weren't exactly healthy because of their diet. We're gonna get to all that because I got time tonight. I just want to say a shout out to my Black Power family, you know what I'm saying, that keep me encouraged to uh, press on because this thing can get wrenching when you don't think anyone's paying attention or it appears to look as if uh, no one's hearing you because let's face it, everyone's a spiritual advisor now. But the real lights that shine shall shine when all these things are gone. You understand? So what they say, in the by and by, you find out who's real and what's real. So let's begin with a little laughter because life can be quite funny. I was talking to a person and they were telling me that, they gotta stop working for the black family's intelligence to, you know, break free for liberation. They're gonna stop working, in society for the liberation movement because it's not working. And so that is their truth because they've been doing it for 30, 40 years. I actually have an auntie that, literally gave her physical self to the whole movement, and we're here. I literally witnessed since I was 5 years old, and I'm about to be 50 plus that. You understand? Um, uh, Gratefully. And yeah, they give a portion of their health for the movement, and we still got ignorant family members within. You understand? And I do mean within the community, within the broader, situation. And then some of us got it right in our homes. And we're going to deal with all of that because whatever we talk about, it applies to the home, then it applies to community, it applies to yourself first, then your home, community, and so on. These things echo itself. And then we got this phrase, since everybody want to keep it real. Well, y'all, that's exactly what y'all are doing. Maybe y'all should go back to the days where you concealed all your bull crap because it spreads like a bad bacteria. Remember back in the days, because there's nothing new under the sun. I'm sure what's going on now was actually going on back then, but in a different capacity. It was like you didn't hear grown-ups in the room doing the grown-up thing. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, people in the kitchen cooking, mama and it's either daddy, her old man, or some jigger up in there shaking up the house and making all noise and this and that, and they expect the kids done left. Next thing you know, your ass is about to burn down. The house is burning down. They said, oh, well, let them handle it. They had the grease on the stove, child. And things got to smoking. It was smoking in the bedroom, and it was smoking in the kitchen. Nearly burnt up their whole house. When I heard that story, that reminded me of a moral code. Wait till the cheering and everybody sleeping. Ain't no more cooking doing in the house and everybody quieting in their bedroom before y'all go in there at the end of the night and do your little whatever it is y'all do in there. Turning the beasts upon each other. I mean, come on. We got to get back to this moral code. So, tonight's show, The Mirror of Ma'at, when community fails her. And, oh, I didn't hit the record button. See, over here in Zoom land, you got to remember to hit record. It's a good thing I haven't gotten into it yet. Record to the clouds. All right. Because everybody have to know that they being recorded. Now, I have something to share with y'all right quick. Uh, oh, where is it? Okay, hold on. Hold on. We're going to download. Mm. Mm-hmm. Welcome. Oh, Don't do that yet. Okay. All right. Let's share. Where is it? Screen. Media. There we go. There we go. All right. Why is this so doggone crazy? You need to move out of the way briefly. Welcome to the Sashat Hekamaat podcast, where ancient wisdom meets divine truth. Here, we are on a sacred journey to discover and realign with Ma'at, the original moral compass of the world. But what is Ma'at? Ma'at is not just a word. She is the ancient Kemetic principle of truth, justice, harmony, balance, reciprocity, and divine order. Long before modern religion spoke of commandments, Ma'at stood as the first spiritual and ethical code of conduct for humanity. To walk in Ma'at is to walk in alignment with the universe. If you desire to live a holy life, one of purpose, purity, and power, then you would strive to live by this sacred code. These are the divine and sacred 42 laws of Ma'at, not rules to control you, but principles to free your soul and uplift our people. Listen closely and let your heart be weighed in truth.
I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God/goddess. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without cause. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. I have not seduced another spouse. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not cursed God/goddess. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words, or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, word, or deed. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to the gods/goddesses. I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to others.
All right. Okay. So, what I wanted to do was offer the 42 laws of Ma'at, in which you just witnessed read aloud. It's a lot, right? It's everything, it encompasses everything. And this is for every single human being. That is who it was created for. This is our very first uh, moral code that was given to humanity to follow. Why do I say it's the first? Because it's the oldest. When things are, that's how we decide what came before what age. Up until now, this is the oldest code of morality for all of humanity to follow, not just Egypt. See, that's the thing. A lot of us think that the brilliance that came out of Egypt was just for Egypt. And no, they were supplying the world with their knowledge. Okay? Trade, the same thing that you see going on now with the tariff wars and whatnot. Trade has been going on since people have been able to communicate with one another. So let us go ahead and begin. The mirror of Ma'at when the community fails her. We have a lot to go over. First of all, peace and blessings. I am your host tonight, Oracle Tonya 23, Oracle of the Circuit Code. And yeah, the Circuit Code is a set of art, digital art, that is layered in healing um, glyphs, sacred geometry, um, symbols, and imagery. It looks like it's just the glare. Okay, anyway, we don't have time to do that. That's why I be like gonna turn this camera off sometime. When I'm giving the information, you could just see the image and hear my voice. Like, just to let people know, that is what a podcast is. A podcast is just your voice. Like back in the day, you could go ahead and do the things that you need to do, just be listening. That is what a podcast is. This video stuff is a whole nother word. Video cast. Okay. Now, my beautiful family. And when I say that, I mean everyone. Because I consider myself, I have made myself into a goddess. Well, I really haven't made myself. The Tonya 23 experience, that's what did, what did the thing. That's what did it, the experience. And in those experiences, I have learned to embrace all as family. I mean, human family, right? You have your human family, then you've got your chosen family, which are your friends and people that you meet and actually get to make the decision if you want them in your life or not. And then you've got your family, which you can't control that they're there, but you can choose whether or not to fraternize with them. And yeah, so we've gotten that out the way. I am Tonya 23 once again. And this is where the pen writes the truth, the voice speaks justice, and the heart beats in balance with the cosmos. Today's teaching is powerful, personal, and overdue. I don't think I'll need to see that. Come on, TikTok. Peace and love, TikTok family. Don't worry about it. You haven't missed a thing. Tonight, we're going to talk about the mirror of Ma'at when the community fails her. Ma'at is the goddess of justice, reciprocity, harmony, cosmic order, divine order, uh, truth, and cosmic law. Yeah. Like the earth spinning as fast as it does, that's a cosmic law. Ma'at. Okay. And when you get a chance, look it up. 42 laws of Ma'at. Read all 42 or rewind the YouTube video and we just recited them. All right. So now, again, the mirror of Ma'at. When community fails to follow uh, a moral code, which is for the benefit of everyone, and the moral code is just that, a positive morality. You understand? Which has the components to deal with the chaos or the chaos beings, those in the land and communities that cause chaos. There's also, we have them in mind as well. Because from the very beginning, there was what you call, wait, what's going on here? Press, okay. From the very beginning, there was what you call, okay, chaos and harmony. So through the ages, it manifests, right? So let us say our Medu Nature, so that the enemies that be cannot stop our movement. So we speak in our sacred language, and for certain things, we do not give the translation. And for certain things, we do for good reason. So here we go. Hekau Seneb, Seshat Hekamaat Podcast Ren. Netaru Masu, U Heri A, Dua Sheta Ma'at, Dua Seshat, Ren Tonya 23, M Kinti Pet, Uashu Netjeru Hena A, Hetepu Neferu, Mesu Ma'at, Hekau Netjeru, Shena Ren A M Shekem. And we share the first translation. My praise the divine ones, praise Ma'at. My name is true, a voice in the heavens. I carry sacred truth in my heart. All hidden words are spoken in peace. Nekabet shields my name. Serket selects the power. Hotep. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's get started. First thing we're going to deal with is when we abandon the truth. Peace and love to the family. Yes, when we abandon the truth, the first thing that we deceive is what, y'all? Ourselves, correct. And first off, that's what you don't want to do. We don't want to get into the practice of deceiving ourselves. And then, of course, that projects onto others. If we deceive ourselves, then others don't stand a chance, correct? All right. Now, when we abandon the truth, we must examine the lies we tell ourselves and each other, from stolen narratives to silence about harm. That happens a lot every day. Someone's being harmed, there's silence about it in a way where, no one wants to get involved. There are some that will get involved, but that's just one level of harm. How about this? Hope my mic is up. Um, this example, Purdue Chicken Company. 2 weeks ago, they were fined finally and told that they would stop pumping their forever disgusting chemicals, which we don't understand why they're using forever chemicals to process chicken. Boop, light bulb, light bulb. And now they have a lawsuit, and the process, once they get found out by the powers that be, they get the lawsuit and whatnot. And now they get to stop because they knew for over a year that they were pumping these chemicals in the ground and it affected the nearby community's drinking water. Who knows how far it went? But yes, by pumping the stuff in the sewage in the ground, affected the drinking water of the community. And this company knew what they were doing. They did not stop pumping the stuff until they were fined by the government. That is what you call lies. But now that's a broader thing because it's lies against humanity. Children, babies, elderly, and men and women, humans, animals. The the land is tainted now and poisoned. Once those chemicals go in, you can barely replenish the land again. So now they get fined billions, but the people that actually are being affected by this, they got to go and see what their problem is worth now. When this was done to them. See, we don't have the power to taint large things like water supplies. They pump chemicals into the land now. So you have some farmers that are growing beautiful looking stuff. They don't know their land has been tainted with the poison from miles away. This was even done by the military. Yeah. Do you remember that Camp Lagoon commercial? That's just one example. They ran it enough times, but when I say Camp Lejeune, all of you should know what I'm talking about. For 30 years, people were being exposed to cancer causing things through the water supply and the land. Incredible. Incredibly sinister, I want to say. Incredibly so far against Ma'at. Hold on now. Some of you may be saying, well, where's the price that they have to pay? Hold on. You got the stolen narratives, you've got genocide, and we all know the terrible things in the world. And it seems as if it's just going to go on and on. But no, can't you see we're living in a different time where the exposure is explosive? The chaotic ones can barely get past go before their ish is exposed to the world, or exposed to their families, or exposed to your community, or whatever. These type of things don't just affect the person, it affects the thousands and thousands of people. So that's one level of moral disgustingness. Yeah, there's some water, y'all. Whenever you talk in your talk, this kind of talk, dry, dry, dry. The mouth gets dry. But I guarantee you, if I was talking some gossip or talking some bullish, I wouldn't have to be even picking up the doggone water cup. Interesting. This is life be a spiritual war. Pay attention to it. That's why you think all these 42 laws of Ma'at is impossible. No, because it's every little thing. It's a way of life, right? Now, okay, I'm gonna stick to the notes now. What about the communal wound of dishonesty in the family, right? Families, justice system, and the history books. Everywhere you turn around, you're getting the flim flam. It's coming from all directions, and it's coming from directions where it's not supposed to be coming from, right? I guess you would expect the systems to work against you. That is what they are created for, to do, right? They weren't created to be your friend. They were created to control and keep receipts of it. So, if Ma'at is the feather, then the lies are the bricks that weigh down the scale, right? You have your scale. It's flipping over, like it's really like this in that area, right? On a large scale, we're not doing that great as a world, right? The scale is like, because don't get me wrong, lots of great things are happening in the world, but they're not being done by people that have such large capacity to reach millions. Could you imagine if companies like Purdue and all these other companies, could you imagine if they decided to respect the earth? Just that one little thing in their processes. Because believe me, to sell chicken, you don't have to do all that. Maybe they need to scale back or something, because once you start to have to be Frankenstein, okay, if I thought that I could splice a seed and grow a shea butter tree instead of waiting the 25 years that it literally takes for a shea butter tree to mature, 25 years, literally, then, you know, that is where you cross the line when you're trying to speed up the process, you know? That's where things get immoral. And then you project it to the public in a way that says, "Oh, this is healthy for you." But we have to use our heads. We go by packaging, images, and all of this fruity looking stuff that be on the outside of things. We have to stop, turn the product around. And the smallest print that you see, that's what you're supposed to be reading. And if you read it, you'll probably put it back on the shelf if you weigh it up against your moral code, right? All these things you can't pronounce. It's kind of scary, but we're willing to just slap it on our face and this and that. We don't have enough self love to take the time to know exactly what we're doing. And then, yeah, we can't always attribute it to uh don't have the book smarts and this and that. No. That's unacceptable now because of your devices. You are walking around with a smart supercomputer in your hand. A man fell in a hole, those, what they call the manholes. It didn't have a cover on it for some strange odd reason, but anyway, he fell in the hole. What's the first thing you think about? He was walking looking at that phone. Now, nowadays, that can happen to anyone. Poor guy, he survived. Fell into a manhole. Guess he's got a lawsuit. But yeah, when the Ma'at feather, you know, is weighing down, and it's mainly lies, atrocities, total atrocities, that's weighing down that scale for that particular system, because every system has its own judgment, right? Just like every person. Don't think it just applies to persons, but it's because of persons that systems fall, you know, the misuse. Because, yeah, it's better to just take it slow. Like, humanity can make it without a bunch of chicken. I mean, if you have to make the chicken a damn Frankenstein, you got to do all this thing to make it hurry up and grow, just like what they're doing with the eggs out there. You know, I'll be willing to eat less eggs just to get the real ones. Peace to the family on TikTok. Um, yes. So we have that aspect. Now, what is the real cost of abandoning order? Well, a lot of you can answer that question, especially if you've ever been locked up or ever had to go to court, even. Um, on the land, we are very programmed into this law, the law. It's just one law in the world of laws, but the law that we have to adhere to over here where we're at. We know full and well. And what did they say? If you go in there and they say you did such and such, you say, well, I didn't know that wasn't allowed. What does the judge? He pulls out one of these, which is symbolizes the hammer of Thor. He pulls out one of these and he bangs it. Bow. And he says, your ignorance is not going to fly here. It's your duty to know. Oh, what are we all supposed to be lawyers out here? No, but you're supposed to know your rights and you better know the laws so you could stay out the courtroom, right? Even they tell you ignorance of the law is not going to work. Well, ignorance of this spiritual law and this natural laws of Ma'at, all 42 of them, we don't want to hear that you don't know what they are. That's not acceptable. So now you know it's your duty to figure it out while you still have a little bit of time. Now, you know the 10 Commandments because they've been programmed into you since you were little children, most of you. But just get the rest, right? Get those. Read them. Just read them a couple times a week, and you will begin to see in yourself, number one, and then in others, and then in the world, each level and stage of your life, you will see where they're being adhered to and where they're not. You know, um, pretty much you have this inner chip, let's say an inner chip, that most of us know the difference between right and wrong, you know. And when we do something in either category, we're pretty much aware of it. And it really, it's one of my pet peeves when people try to act like they didn't know what they did to you. Shower woo. That's one for my eye, you know. Because you could wear out your nerves on that one. But the violence in some of our neighborhoods is not just physical, it's spiritual. Let's talk about it. Black on black crime, for instance, that's just one sort of crime. There's all sorts of crimes going on. And what is so astonishing is that most of the crimes are being done against children, which tells me that we've gone far out the way. Far out the way. We must be defenders of the children, y'all. In case you didn't know, let me just say we have to be defenders of the children. They're our responsibility. They didn't ask to come here. Oh, but they say on the spiritual side to say you chose this, and that, and that, and that, and this. Well, they still didn't choose to be um, not protected. No one chooses that. So that's another level of ma'at to the parents out there who neglecting, not taking care of whatever the moral problem is between you and your kid. It's your duty to figure that out and correct it because you are the parent. Parents are, the children, and they got the little hierarchy thing. And that's even starting to crumble because there are not starting to crumble, it has crumbled because there are many children who are smarter physically and moralistically than their parents. And so sorry, but I have to say that and give credit where credit's due. Hold on one moment. Get up. Alive. You gotta get up here. I can leave on my microphone. All right. And so, where was I? Violence in the neighborhoods. The children's environments can't be all messed up, y'all. Now that's your fault. We don't want to hear nothing about. We don't want to hear nothing about the government and the funds and the resources and this and that. What we are talking about, and you know full well, I'm talking to two audiences here. It is your responsibility about where you live at. The trash on the grounds. I've seen it with my own eyes to go to the corner store. You buy the sugary item or whatever, you pop it in your mouth, you chuck the thing right on the ground in your own neighborhoods. Go figure. That's a sickness. Because no one should. Do you guys poop in your bedroom? Like, no, no, no. Uh, and so if you can't respect your own place, then you don't expect others to respect it because they see you disrespecting it. So they're going to disrespect it too. And what can you really say? You throw trash in front of your house, someone sees it and they walk by and say, "Oh yeah, this is a good place." They throw trash on their own shit. So yeah, What are you going to say? Because you are the example. Back in the day, you couldn't even get the older people to smoke a cigarette in front of the young children. But then you had some that the children got the secondhand smoke like crazy. The parents didn't give two about it. Those children have now grown up to be have severe asthma and whatnot because somebody didn't stand up and say, "Get that shit out of here." Even that, maybe they didn't know any better. I too used to smoke, but not in front of my children's face. That's crazy. And so things like that, you, one might think it's a little thing, but it's not. In Especially in black communities, stupid crap like that is a everyday thing. You know, the alcohol, all that stuff in front of the children. And then when they go astray early, we act like they have lost their minds. Been there, done that. It's not their fault. It's some shit that you need to get together so you can help them deal with whatever they're going through. But you can't do that if you're messed up. Me, I had the ability to put whatever was going on with me to the darn side. I just now began and have my healing and all this like within the past 12 years or so. I've been doing so much healing work on myself, which is how I could sit here. I couldn't even have the confidence before because I had to get myself together. I don't know about any of you, but my conscience is super heavy, which helped me to be able to do this now because I care about the rules, the real ones. I took time to find out, to go all the way back and find out what's the real rules because I knew something was wrong with the damn rules that I was given. And so that's right. Ignorance of the law doesn't work. You guys are responsible. You have to study whatever it is you want to know. That in turn will change your life. It doesn't have to be religion, it could be for some, but personally, I think that is just the basic form of enlightenment, the most basic on the planet that you can get. Them three. If you want to ascend or whatever, you're gonna have to get up out of that. Family in the nicest way. I was told today, I mean, I already know that I know my own astrology and I study my own self through my own astrology. And I happen to know that my Mercury is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Mercury is the planet of communications, all communications. Y'all computer, y'all this, y'all that. When Mercury goes in retrograde, that's why all y'all should be breaking down at that time. If you study it, you can track it, you see. Um, it's not a guarantee that something must happen, but during that time, the probabilities are high. Um, and so, all that to say is, my words with love, I am a fiery, you know, I get it in. So, but I don't mean nobody any harm, you know, I'm just doing what I gotta do. And I do want people to understand that I am not playing by anything that I say, because I'm working for the goddess and I don't need her foot up my ass. Believe that one. Okay. That's right. If I were who, nobody wants to get on her bad side. It looks like they don't care, but they're finna feel it. Now, where there is, here's a quote. That's original. Where there is no ma'at, there is no protection. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Somebody need to hear that again. Where there is no ma'at, there is no protection. Okay. And we're talking about spiritual protection, but it can manifest itself spiritually real quick. All right. Segment 3, the sacred accountability of what must be restored. And please, if anyone has any questions, start to send them through. You should be able to make a comment. Let me check. Let me check my YouTube. Okay. All right. Don't see any questions. Yeah, there's got to be questions, but you can always send them to me later on in the comments. It's like YouTube. Whenever I'm speaking this kind of talk, shadow bend. It's okay because we're on TikTok. Um, that's why they were trying to shut it down, actually, for stuff like this, because they want to be able to segregate and cut off your algorithm from actually reaching. Like, you can go in your shorts and break the algorithm. Like, they can't never stop a spiritual person because I'll just be sitting there and the conscience will be like, do a short right now. They're going to break the algorithm. You'll get thousands of views. No lie. Within that hour, 1,800, 1,900, 2,000 or more views in the shorts, you know, because no weapon formed against you going to prosper. And if they say walk by the spirit, that's what you do. When you feel it, you hit it. That's why sometimes you can't be announcing what you're going to do. You go live, if they look in, you'll see it. You know what I mean? When you give them too much advance, then you know they take the opportunities. But sacred accountability must be restored, and that's what we're going through now. Some of the things that's happening on the earth, as far as these weather patterns, the heat, um, the attack on Ra, the sun, all these drones that are constantly painting the skies with the fake skies. You guys know real clouds when you see them. That's why everybody got a voice situation. Take a survey. Everybody either got sinus, scratchy throat, or something like that. Doesn't have anything to do with smoker, non-smoker. No, no, no. This affects everyone. Okay, and it's only the little children. Some of them are being affected too, but they got the new lungs and whatnot. But this is a thing that builds up over time. We've been being attacked since 2020 with the sky crap. It's consists of heavy metals and how can I say this without I'm already shadow banned, so it's literally driving people wacko. Okay, it's affecting people's mental health. Some places you go, take a walk down the street in any one of the cities, you will see mainly mental patients. They don't know whether they coming or going type people. There is a lot of people in that state. Tell you right now, any kind of brain fogginess or whatever, get you. You know how when they say, who alert. Gonna drop some jewels. Get you some lion's mane. Get you some ginkgo biloba, right? And get you some either colloidal or the Ormus gold, edible gold, medicinal gold. Go to Amazon, type it in. It's there. Whichever one you choose. First of all, I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I have done for myself. Please consult your own physician before you partake. When I tried it, it was pure gold. Now, I'm going to show my TikTok family this my thing. I wouldn't say anything that I don't do myself. I'm not going to have it in the speech thing because they're going to go over my video. So I got to be cloaked in all this other stuff to tell the truth, y'all. It's crazy. But sacred accountability and restoring what needs to be restored, which is ma'at in our lives. Not just it's a social justice issue. It's also a personal thing. Um, no one's saying you have to adopt anyone else's way of living, but what you do have to do is get with the moral code because that's the umbrella, you know? You should most certainly do unto others as you want done to yourself. You know, you don't gotta, if you live real close to a person, y'all might not speak every day or whatever, but you know, you're cordial or whatever. Be good to your neighbor. All of that is in the 10 Commandments. But get the rest, all 42. Rewind the YouTube video. I did it in the intro. I might play it again on the outro for y'all that missed it. But we're coming to that soon. So, how can we restore balance? Restorative justice. The people have to put all of their differences. Uh-oh, hold on. All of their, oh my gosh. Hi, how you doing? I am not having anyone with me. I didn't know I pressed that button. Can you exit for me? And I thank you for coming through and listening. Join the group and you can come through, but we we only doing this separate one. Okay, sir. How do you exit yourself off? Y'all, hold on just a minute. Mm, wow, this shouldn't be that hard. There we go. Dang, TikTok, you need to make that process a little more easier. Holy crap. Thank you for coming through or whatever, but this is a one woman show. Back to order here. Now, ancestor reverence. People that have religion or whatever don't think that they need to reverence their ancestors. And I do mean by like having a little altar or something like that, like real reverence. Like how you would want someone to remember you, perhaps, but some of you may not even care, but you should think about that. Like the children, they need to know who their ancestors are, even if you don't like them. Um, there's a lot of different circumstances out there. I will leave that to your own free will because, yeah, there's a lot of situations out there where some people don't want to talk to their parents, and rightfully so. So I'll let you all deal with that. But I do bid healing in this world between children and their parents. The goddess wants to see all children get along with their parents, but there's a lot of work parents have to do, which is surrendering their ego and actually going after their children and showing them love, begging their forgiveness while you want to mess up 20, 30, or 40 years of your life out there in the streets and whatnot, and they left to fend to themselves. You expect them to break their necks for you every time Mother's Day comes around? There's a lot of work that needs to be done on all sides of the family, the fathers, the mothers, the children. But we have to get it together fast. Do right by the children. Children, if you have great parents, respect them. And if you don't have great parents, don't go out of your way to disrespect them, but your mentality towards them can certainly be what you need it to be because it's a hurtful thing when you don't get along with your parents. But it's very important. Ancestor reverence, we haven't been programmed that way, so I do understand the lack of knowledge there. But I implore you to get like some books. Ask Chat GPT, what are the benefits? I'll do it for you. Hold on just a darn second here. Let me see. Let's ask some questions. If y'all got any questions and you want to see it done live, now would be the time. Hey, what's going on? Stop it. Stop. You're on the wrong browser. Well, you guys, you do it. Most of you have AI. Ask it the question. What are the benefits of ancestor reverence? Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. But as you can see, quick recall. That is the benefit of the lion's mane and the ginkgo biloba. See the quick recall. You see, a couple weeks ago, I was like a whole minute, like, oh my god, I gotta go. But when you're out there breathing in that smoky ass air that's all droned up with the smoke, it messes with the hippocampus of your brain, which is where your memory is. A lot of things in society working against your hippocampus in your brain. You got the nasty foods, the terrible foods, the pasta, the freaking white rice and the potatoes, all of that. It messes with the hippocampus. There's a study, cholesterol medication is a direct link to Alzheimer's. Um, Local healing circles come together with just a couple people local, you know. Keep your eye out for events where you can go and network with others that like to restore greatness in the world, restore positive uh, affirmation in the world, uh, maybe even help out some kids, you know. They're cool too, and the time passes fast when you're working with them. Um, Economic cooperation. That's people coming together, putting finances together so that when ish hits the fan, everyone will be taken care of. But we have to work on our ma'at first because we need to be able to trust one another. There's a lot of shisty individuals out there, and if I don't feel it in my spirit, I'm not putting nothing in your hands. No. And I feel that that's how people do me or whatever. But I have worked to gain the trust. Like it's just as simple as doing an order or something. Someone orders something from you. You make sure you send it. That's a moral thing. You understand? And say something happens to it on the way in the shipping process. Been there, done that. Like it's your responsibility. I know it's not your fault. You know, it's that freaking mailman. It said fragile and he broke it or whatever it is. It's still your fault. It is your responsibility until that object, that order gets in the consumer's hands. Once they get it in their hands, fine. I remember I had an order and I spent like literally $111 with a sister, supposed to be in the spiritual community. I won't say her name out because she definitely has a YouTube channel. African Witch Bitch is her name. Huh, go figure. Why did I even get involved? But I did because I didn't want to judge, you know? And she had some pretty good products at the time. I decided I would patronize with the sister, you know? It was very meaningful to me. The package got delivered, but it didn't get delivered to me. I never got the package. $111. So here I go. I'm contacting her. Hey, I never got the package or whatever. I get the response. Well, it says delivered. It got delivered to your address. I'm like, no, sweetie. I did not receive the package. She believed the post office. Oh, it got, you know, and there was no pictures of it or anything. No media at that time. This was some years ago. In other words, she fought me very to the end, told me to contact the post office and this and that. Contact the post office. Post office says that's the sender's issue. I got tired of fighting with everybody and I decided to leave it alone. I took the loss. But what valuable lesson, what valuable lessons with an S did I learn from that? Now, at first, I said, that's why I'm not buying anything from my kind anymore. I was highly pissed. That was a good chunk of my hard earned pay. Me being a seller, I know how the game goes. I know how the game goes. I would never do that to any of my clients. I would give them a full refund and deal with it on my own with the post office. That is what the seller is really supposed to do. And she was supposed to insure it before she shipped it to me. So when I contact her and tell her that I don't receive it, oh man, don't worry because it's insured. $100. We'll get that, and then I'll just give you the 11. It would have been no problem. But that's how that worked out. And so the lessons that I said that I learned would no go. And even that inspired me to literally expand my own product making abilities, and everything that I ordered back then, I can now make myself today. Order in the court, because that's exactly what order is. Checking yourself. My aunt is going to deal with that situation. You understand? It'll be a loss, but in another area. And that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with you being a title, which is a seller, and receiving reciprocity from someone, and then they never get what they're supposed to get. That is a problem. And it is the seller's problem. What happens on Amazon? They make them take pictures now because that was happening a lot. And then people's stuff was getting stolen. So they had to restore balance and tell their delivery people to take pictures of where you left the package and that it was actually delivered there. I would have been better off ordering the items from Amazon. I'm not going to just take a loss just to support my people. That's where you got my aunt messed up. So, economic corporation needs serious help in the black community. Everyone knows what it's like doing business with us sometimes. It's very flim flam and shabby, lazy, but not all, just some. We have beautiful looking products, but it's the integrity. It's the, you know what I'm saying? For those that call themselves spiritual, of course, it would have to be the unseen part of the program that is just as important, right? Like sanitizing utensils, you know, listing all the ingredients and list all the ingredients and that's it, like no extra additives or whatever, like the Purdue people. You would get something looking all pretty and whatnot, about to kill you. This is a regular product. I'm not trying to go out my way to be all fancy and this and that. It's the effectiveness, purifier. We have to be for real, original. Everything don't have to be all fruity. That's when you need to jump back and stop and wait a minute. when everything looking too damn cute. It's like a person always got on a bunch of cologne and perfume and whatnot. I mean, it's too much a little bit. You know, you could smell them coming and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Child wow woo. Something funky. That's common sense. Or that my wisdom calculator says, why they got to be smelling way down there? They got some funky something going on with them. It's the unseen funk that you gotta look out for. They might swindle you or something, or try to come on to you, or come on to your man, or some kind of some just ain't gonna be right. It's like, for example, women. Some women, some women, they got the long claws now. They can't do nothing. They got the long claws and they long and they got the big hair. I listen, I'm a former wig and weave and braid queen. So the Tonya 23 experience. They got the big hair. They hiding a lot. Uh all that makeup, they hiding a lot. Then some of them done got the new boobs, the new butts. They're basket cases. If you were to talk to some of them, their mentality has to be like, and then they pretend like they love themselves, but someone that does that is a clear sign that you didn't love who you were. You know, it's the subtle things like people really be trying to throw over an illusion on you. You have you thinking you ain't ish. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's not you. Um, we got to get back to teaching our children the 42 laws and not just the 10 commandments. Scripture and Kemetic wisdom, specifically in the book of Coming Forth by Day, in which the colonizer named it the Book of the Dead. It is not the Book of the Dead, it is so the Book of the Living. These are the lies in Ma'at. Okay, they still got to pay for this. And we called our things spells because we were spelling. You understand? They're not called just like you have in the English language. To write is to spell. Well, in ancient Kemet, to write was to spell also, but they actually called it a spell. They didn't have any illusions for you. But this is where that comes from. Spell number 125. I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not committed robbery, have not stolen. I have not slain men and women. Those come out of one spell. But that's a few different commandments in that one. You have sin commitment, robbery, robbery with violence, stealing, and unaliving. That's a lot of commandments in one. Tie this to how we cannot afford to spiritually bypass real community accountability. But I have a special treat because things aren't moving fast enough on the planet as per the spiritual team that is in charge of this planet. Now I get to tell you what's about to happen. So get ready. Does anybody want to take a slight break? You want to count to 10? You want to do a little breathing exercise? You want to shift your little chair? Get your little self together? You want to wake up? You want to take a I'm gonna take a sip of water before we get started on this one because I'm telling you, hold on to your chair. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab on. I'm gonna be holding my little shungite pyramid on this part because the powers that be on the planet who are seemingly supposed to be accountable for large numbers of people, cities, towns, things like that, states, the go to people when anything goes wrong on a higher level. Because the powers that be understand that the people are the real power, but a lot of us right now have a veil and they have been prisoners of war and they're being attacked on every level. Where's my charger? Oh no. Phone can't go down now. We're about to get to the grand finale. Oh my goodness. Stop the presses, y'all. I'll be right back. She back, she back. Wait, wait, wait. Hold up. I gotta how we gonna do this? Well, I'll tell you how. We might have to switch to the side just a little bit. That's okay, because this is super heavy. Pyramid. Pyramid. There we go. Okay. All right, got these papers here. Hi, YouTube. How y'all doing? Thanks for your patience. You shall be rewarded with greatness, with blessings untold. All right. Put a little pyramid right there. Now, the grand finale. Where's my microphone? Because y'all got second thing. All right. The grand finale. Because things aren't moving fast enough for our spiritual family that's in charge of our solar system, we are going, well, we've already had visitors, but there's going to be a get down. Yeah. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Ah, the algorithm jumped. I'm seeing something on my end. Oh, don't go dark. Don't you go dark on me. Come on. What's going on? Well, they don't want me to tell you. Let me hurry up. Dun, 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 dun. The return of interstellar judges. The return. The return of interstellar judges, y'all. Oh my gosh. What are they doing? They got me off. Oh, I gotta do a puzzle. Woo! Telling you. Telling you. But like I say, I'm at work. Well, so they I'm good. Long as I follow the rules and do my work. This is one of my jobs right here. So let me go ahead. The return of interstellar judges, a galactic teaching. Ancestral star watchers are returning to Earth in December. This is not uh unknown news. It is mainstream. It's on the local channels. They have already told the world that they're calling it a probe. Uh Even ChatGPT has said that they're ancestral star watchers. Y'all better jump up and shout hallelujah right now. But it's a different kind of thing. The return of interstellar judges. Hmm. I'm just going to let that marinate because that's the deepest thing right there. As the people feel helpless. And let's face it, everyone has a military. If the people turned up too much, we know that they would turn them against us. So we too are helpless to an extent. But not the ancestral star watchers. They they are not afraid. They don't have anything to take into consideration except getting things back in cosmic order. And that would mean dealing with all the heads of these countries. Can't say too much because then they might want to bother me, which I don't think they want to because things will happen before December. That's right, because the chosen shall not be touched. Y'all got a number of 144,000. Start thinking about who that's going to be. How many people on the planet say that they are followers of Ma'at? We're going to have to figure that out. That's more research. Definitely stay tuned because I will come back and talk about it because I got a hunch that it's not who you think because these original laws will be restored. And that is the main reason. That is the main reason why they're going to be here in December. Now, they are trying to calculate, oh, it's going to pass the sun on October 23rd. And then it's going to keep going until it reaches here in December. So it takes 2 months to travel from the sun to the earth, as per them. The vehicle is traveling at 147,000 miles per hour. And they can tell that it's intelligent because it hasn't bumped into a damn thing. And there's been rumors that if they could zoom in close enough to see, it's covered in golden hieroglyphs. In the witchiest laugh that I can muster up, because I will be outside, cloaked and daggered, with my unks and everything, and I will be helping, and you better figure out how you can help too. Everybody's trying to jump on my live. No, only I'm talking. Peace to the Middle East, but no. I'm gonna have since there's a I'm gonna have a teaching for you all. Get off of here. Now, that's right. Ancestral star watchers are returning to Earth in December. How they are recording the vibration of every soul, and how this cosmic event aligns with the prophecy of Ma'at returning. A lot of you never heard of that. Look, they're breaking their necks. Look, if you could just see them trying to get me on TikTok. No, 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 no. You are listening today. This is not a two-way conversation. Exactly. Because we're getting to the Mats now. The galactic interstellar judges, I believe there's 9 or 12. But the ancestral star watchers are returning, and they are recording the vibration of every soul. I actually had a moment, and I can tell you that's real. And how this cosmic event aligns with the prophecy of Ma'at returning. Now, every religion has that their person that they worship is returning. Well, I'll have you know that the 42 laws of Ma'at are the oldest. They were here first. All others are an offshoot and a version that has been edited. Everybody's returning, but I can tell you for certain that is Ma'at's job. She will be the only one returning here. And you will see her as well. That's right. Her. The one that has been put in charge of weighing the souls of humanity is a woman. And I'm glad of that. Because men want to war all the time. They have to prove who's the biggest ape. The woman judges with compassion. Whereas they might behead you, you may only get your ass beat real good. But she probably won't torture you in Alcatraz and Guantanamo. But they are recording the vibration of every soul. And all of you that keep requesting to come on my live, you need to be somewhere checking your vibration. Don't waste time. What does your personal resonance say about your readiness? Next podcast, I will give. I'm trying to get another phone line so we can do the call in, but I don't want you on the screen as of yet. There'll come a time for that. Um, I want to pose a question to you all and to myself. I will be doing this exercise right along with humanity, you know, because I don't profess to be the goddess. I am a goddess. I am the goddess. Tonya 23. Okay. Now, I am the daughter of Serket. My earthly mother was named Ruby. We're both daughters of Serket. Serket is the mother of humanity, and her veneration day is August the 9th, which is my physical grandmother's birthday. Go figure. That blew my stack when I found out about that. But we need to ask ourselves a question so that we can begin to do the healing work. This is the ultimate healing work. If you want to do some healing, and everybody's on this healing uh, tip right now, if you want to do the healing, you could start with the 42 laws. And this is it. You would ask yourself a series of questions. And I'll give you the first one. No, I'll give you the first two. What does your personal resonance say about your readiness? Some might say readiness for what? Readiness for the return of the galactic ancestors, the return of the interstellar judges, right? All you Christians out there, pretend that's your savior coming, because that is going to be it. It's super funny that they said that the galactic interstellar judges were passing the sun on October 23rd. They were able to pinpoint it down to the day. But when it said it would be returning to Earth in December, they gave December 2025 right away. The goddess spoke to me, the goddess, the head one. She spoke to me and said, you know damn well they don't want to say the date December 25th, 2025. So they told you it's passing the sun on October 23rd, but they didn't want to give you a specific date in December. I wish you guys would stop trying to come on my live. Um, but it's because they didn't want to tell you it's going to return on the 25th of December. So anytime from y'all the eve of the Christmas day, anytime from midnight to midnight the 25th. Isn't that something? The interstellar judges are returning on December 25th. They didn't want to tell you that because that would ruin your Christmas story if they gave you a specific date. Guess who else is born on that day? My physical mother is born on Christmas Day. The interstellar judges is returning. Mm-hmm. Ancestral star watchers. Holy moly. Now, what a time to be alive. If you're depressed, if you're down and out, if you were thinking about quitting everything, hold on. I'm about to catch the Holy Ghost for y'all. If you was thinking about giving up, if you was thinking about don't nobody care about you, if you was thinking I'm tired of it all, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure if I'm on the right track, but I would love to be on the right track, don't you worry. You stop right there. Don't you make a move. Continue taking care of yourself. Meet your basic needs. Drink your water. Mind your business. Focus on you, your immediate things you got to do. You might want to clip your own toenails. You might want to go find somebody else to do it. You might need some hibiscus tea. You might got to get up and go out and get it. Whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, do it. Do not neglect yourself. Don't feel like you have to be some wretch because you are a wretched sinner and all this other stuff. Well, if the powers ain't be, I tell it. I always say, I have not seen no devil like the devil called IRS, uh, the prison, the courts and this and that, the ones that railroad the people and this and that. Now, some people need to go through there because they can't be in control of their own lives. They need somebody to control them. Those, there's always going to be a place for them. You know, they need the serious healing. You know, uh, because there's levels to the healing. But for those under the sound of my voice and those that will come later on the replay, you are loved. You are needed in the world. You are what makes the world go around. What was that song? Come on, I know you know the lyrics. People make the world go round. So we need all of the people. And we need you in good spirits, you know? You don't have to worry about what the whites are doing. And they don't have to worry about what the heck we're doing. And don't nobody need to worry about what nobody else is doing. You better worry about what you doing. And that's what you need to worry about. And if everybody worried about that, there'd be no problems in the world. I mean, say you worry about it, but you got to worry and do the right thing about it. You got to cut the shit. You got to cut it, whatever it is. I got some shit I got to cut too. Don't get me messed up. I'm on here as a voice. What is it? An obedient voice. I'm not saying that I follow the 42 laws every day. I'm certainly striving. And when I mind my business and stay to myself, that's as close as I can get. On those days, I be hitting them 42. But then the thoughts, here come the thoughts. I don't think that. Just killing, and killing them thoughts. It's all good. They say prayers. I say my little medunetcher. And it's so working. I've done so much healing. I can't even sit here and tell you, but I always write about it. You know, I actually have created, along with, spiritual guidance, complete spiritual guidance, the Healing Bible of Circuit is coming out this week. Well, it's being submitted to the publisher this week. I vowed that I had to do it on her veneration day. Like, it's super important that I get that uploaded to the publisher that day. It's 300 and some odd pages, but it has to do with every form of healing: physical, mind, body, and soul. Let's just say that. It has a beautiful glossary to explain all the different terms and words, filled with prayers that you can use. It's just a wonderful tool and a blessing it is because Serket, she's the most important Egyptian deity. Um, Outside of Noon, I would say, because there's speculation that she was there at that time, the waters of Noon, you know. That's when the sun arose and then the moon, and you know, there's uh there's Egyptian proof in the text that she was around then. Not even her parents can be, they can speculate who the parents are, but I ran into some text that Serket was called forth from the sun. She was called forth from the portal of the sun. That's why she's always depicted as golden, as the sun. So that makes her pretty old. And then there's other proof that She was around in Kemet during the first dynasty when Tahuti came and established the land of Kemet in Africa. Okay? And so, praise Ma'at for accepting the truth. I have no problem with it. I actually think it might have been a spiritual thing that the people that are in Kemet as of now, it was called Smaitawi. It was a culmination of Africans from all different parts of Africa came and inhabited Kemet. It wasn't a one people, it was overthrown by Greece, Rome. Everybody came through there. But really, everybody came through the mystery schools, the schools of ascension. Every one of them had to come through Kemet. And they all vowed not to tell the world it was African that they learned everything from in civilization. And the people that are caretaking it right now, and that's what I called caretaking it, that was actually planned because it was known that they were going to revere and preserve and continue the archaeology work and keep the place protected from, is it real, wanting to blow up every goddamn thing. Because if you touch one of them peaks on top of one of them pyramids, y'all gonna speed up the destruction of this humanity. But our ancient ancestors dealt in compassion. They are not foolish. Innocent human beings is not finna pay for the powers that be, but their asses is gonna be pure hell for them. But it's gonna be pure hell for those that are not doing what they need to do to get their life together. No one's perfect. When King Tut was found, uh, his sarcophagus was opened. He had a pound of marijuana in there with it, and it was still fresh from centuries old. He might have had some other stuff up in there too. Whatever he felt that he was going to need on his ultimate journey in the afterlife. That's how they felt. And somebody knows something that we don't, because we know we can't take the physical essence with us, but apparently you can take the spiritual essence. And things, especially natural things, have spiritual essence. I believe if you put a book in there, that's a spiritual essence. It would go back to ashes, dust to dust. It would disintegrate eventually, but it would have served its purpose. So these are the questions. Please take them, write them down, because I'm gonna need you. This is part of the work. If you say you want to be healed and all this stuff, you've got to put in the work. All of that walking around, waving a hand, you got two fish, now we got 5,000, all of that. You have to put in the work. That was a lot of ritual work. That was a grand ritual to turn two fish into 5,000. He was conjuring up some stuff, let me tell ya. And it wasn't freaking Peter Pan. The ancient Egyptians, they actually had technology and tools that they could wave a wand and actually make a part in the sea. But whoever said that they did that, they did not do that. It did not need to be done. They could walk where they needed to go. First question: what does your personal resonance say about your readiness to, like, say, pretend your savior was coming in December? What do you need to do to get ready? Where have you abandoned Ma'at in your own life? Here's some more. work for y'all. Us. Because look, I got to do this too. I got it written down. I got to do my homework. And truth is in our hearts. Ma'at em ib I. Ma'at em ib. The eb is your spirit. The eb, right? Ma'at em eb I. Truth, translated, means truth is in my heart. Right? M-E. Heart. Spirit. Right? So if you wanted to, you could say this 7 times. 7 is a number of perfection. Let's do it together. 1. Ma'at em eb I. 2. Ma'at em eb I. 3. Ma'at em eb I. 4. Ma'at em eb I. 5. Ma'at em eb I. 6. Ma'at em eb I. 7. Ma'at em eb I. Hotep. See? We just did a short prayer for ourselves, for truth to be in our hearts. It has to be there first for you to even recognize what's not right in the world or in your world. I promise to offer a moment of silence to the ancestors who upheld justice. No one else would. Give them 7 seconds of silence. Amen Ra. Let's just share this. There's 3 cycles to the sun per day. Rising, continuing to rise, and then setting. Rise and setting, Peak, rise, peak, set, rise, peak, set. It's just doing this every day around the earth forever as it promised. So the laws of Ma'at, right? Ma'at was actually created to keep Ra in order. Ra is the sun. That's one of the names of the sun, Ra, right? He brought forth Ma'at from himself. That's another one that came out of the sun, okay? Her job was to keep him in line, to make sure the sun didn't break its covenant with the earth. She's the accountability. And she's doing a great job. He hasn't fallen off yet. They've been threatening darkness for the longest time. 3 names. When the sun rises is Aten. No, when the sun rises, he's Keperah. Keperah in the morning. Right? When he's peaked, he's Aten. Right? Keperah, Aten Ra. Number 3, Amen Ra. That's where you get your amen from. It's the closure, the setting of the sun. It's the closure on all those religions' prayers, right? Even in Islam, Amin is Amen. But you dissed the God because you left off the Ra. That has to be dealt with. The interstellar judges, they're on their way to visit a lot. Remember when they said the Savior would come back for the churches, and it said it was 7 churches he was going to come back for. Well, those churches our government heads. But he got to come back. He got to deal with that main church too. That really have. They're gonna deal with those that have spans of people that they control or have something to do with. We got enough juice for a minute. And so, have a good friend. I'll tell you, this is how things work. I said in meditation, Goddess, I'm sick and tired of the world acting like the FBAs from the United States aren't the lost tribe of Shabazz, and the lost tribe of Shabazz is from ancient Kemet and different parts of Africa and spread. But, so I went in meditation and I said, I gotta meet somebody. I gotta meet an FBA over here that I can track directly back to Kemet because I know, I know that's what it is. 3 weeks later, a young lady and her family, her husband, moved next door to me. The guy had on a jacket. I saw it said ancient Kemet so and so. And I saw Heru on it, and I was like, what is happening here? And so I became very, very, very close friends. Actually, today she's a bestie. She's my bestie. And she told me her grandparents, we got to talking about family members, and her grandparents are from Egypt. They lived there all their life. They're still there. The grandmother is still there. And if you meet, she's like my complexion, but if you meet her mother, she's a beautiful charcoal black woman. But you can look at her features. She looks Egyptian. Beautiful. Guess where they from? Freaking Jacksonville, Florida. Bingo! Got the connection. All I did was ask. We got the connection. They be lying on no doggone ancestor DNAs because they don't never want none of us. They'll tell us what regions from Africa we from. We know that Kemet was a melting pot like New York City. If you do my DNA, are you going to see New York City in it? No, but that's where I'm from, though. That's the problem right there. They're trying to hide us, the lost tribe of Shabazz. We are the Egyptians, honey. That's why I'm so comfortable. My mother has Mayan blood. The priesthood from Egypt were the Mayans. I was reading this. The Tibetan, the Tibetan look at Book of the Dead. They must have been in contact with Egypt also. The text, you can tell. Nothing is as old as the pyramid texts. And what they tried to do is they made these books hundreds of dollars. So someone like me can't get it. But I ain't got it. That's another podcast for another time. Now, yes, we offered our moment of silence for the ancestors. Now, notes. Write your own, try this, write your own 5 laws of Ma'at that your household will honor. I'm going to see if you got juice in your own household. Can you establish new laws in your home? Who's the lawmakers? Establish 5 laws of Ma'at. First, you gotta listen to the recording, listen to the 42, or Google the 42 laws of Ma'at, and then pick 5. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick 5. We're gonna focus on 5. Begin every morning with this phrase, Dua Ma'at. It just simply means praise Ma'at. My steps follow the path of balance. My words are weighed. My actions are measured. Now, this is totally if you so choose. You know, everyone seems to believe that their way is the right way, but I've been through all those other ways, and so I really get to choose. I've been through that way. I've been through that way, and that way. Now I have a well rounded mind to make a well informed decision. And I tell you today, and as long as this information is the eternal, and it is, I mean, I literally have had spiritual confirmations. So I'm locked in, loaded with the knowledge to back it up, not just willy nilly. A lot of people, most people that have their Bible, they think their Bible legitimizes everything. No, you got to find other books in the world that legitimizes that. That's how you do research. You can't do research with one book. Of course, it's going to reconcile itself. That's pretty funny. Now, we're about to end the outro from the temple of the scribe to the court of the cosmos. That's where the real court is going down, family. Not in those buildings. That's a temporary court. The real court is the cosmic court. To the court of the cosmos, remember, Ma'at does not die. Yeah, we all got numbers, but not Ma'at. She is a eternal goddess. None of the gods and goddesses die. Sekhmet, we have Het Heru, we have Aset, we have Serket, and now we have Ruby. Mm-mm-mm. From the temple of the scribe to the court of the cosmos, remember Ma'at does not die. She lives where she is invited. But her vessel, be her student, be her mirror. Until the next time, I am Tonya 23, voice of Sashat, current, walking in truth, Hotep. The way, well, Sashat is also a describing name of myself because I am a Sashat. Sashat is the great recorder. She's actually the daughter of Ma'at. And when she says that Ma'at is recording everything, it's Sashat doing it. She's the universe's first notary. She used to do all the deeds and everything of the land in Egypt and whatnot, establishing the. She was the recorder of the laws. She recorded the 42 laws. I look up Seshat, Seshat. Brilliant, absolutely wonderful goddess. Super important. She doesn't get mentioned a lot, but all the goddesses are super important and literally are in control of everything. These religions in the beginning, the people that they worship in them, used to be women. Look up ALLAT. All right. Until the next time, and do our closing Meru Nature prayer to keep the protection over the Heka, the words, and myself. Because let's face it, there's some haters out there. They don't have no compassion. They're full of isfet. And we push Ma'at. She always wins. Truth, justice, equality, balance, divine transmission, cosmic order. It is not fair for a certain people on the earth to, number one, be treated lesser than they are. There is a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy on the land, there's a hierarchy in that water, and there's a hierarchy above. And so it may seem like the Isfet is running rampant, and it has been for so long, but we are literally in the time where that is going to change. Monumental times. Let's close. Dua Sashat, Dua Ma'at, Waj Medu, Hekau Najaru Seneb, Ren A M Heru, Ib A M Ma'at, Tcha Seneb Pu, Unk Sekem, Heka Per M Ket, Hotep Di Neteru. Dua Neteru Dua Ma'at Ren A Ma Peru Pet Sheri Ma'at Ib Ad Sir Hekau Nebu Sheta Hotep Nekabet Seshet Ren A Serket Setep Sekim. And until the next time, sacred healing to all the children, the divine ones. Praise the sacred mystery of Ma'at. Send the children to me. The gods, they walk with us. Divine words encircle our names in power. Court is adjourned. Ashe and Hotep to all.